God doesn't want to simply be known, but he wants us to know him personally and in a real and tangible way. Because oftentimes our tangible knowledge of God needs to be developed from personal encounters with him. God desires to establish within each and every one of us an experiential understanding of who he is. What is it that you have experienced that has informed your idea of who God is? As you've walked this life as a follower of Jesus, what have you encountered personally, and how has that shaped you? John, he describes himself in the Gospel of John as the disciple whom Jesus loved, wrote in his epistle the following about God in 1 John chapter 4. Dear friends, let us continue to love one another, for love comes from God. And anyone who loves is a child of God and knows God. John was speaking from personal experience. He knew the love of God firsthand. John understood the love of God in a tangible way, which would explain later on in the same chapter. John writes the following words, "Therefore we love each other because he's loved us first." John loved because he was loved by Jesus. Even when we look at the life of Peter, we read in his epistles of his personal knowing about God that came from spending 3 years with Jesus. Peter, this hot-headed fisherman with an impatient type A personality, underwent a drastic change when he encountered Jesus all the way up to the end. And even as you read Peter's epistles, you find all kinds of understanding about Jesus. And it's like reading the words of a different man. Remember, this is the hot-headed Peter, but look what he says here. Instead, be very glad. That can't be Peter. Be joyful and glad. Not the same guy. Peter's understanding of God underwent a radical change because he came to know Jesus. Remember Paul? His name is Saul. He understood that his identity was found in trying to take down an early church. It was Saul's way of trying to make a name for himself and single-handedly trying to save Judaism from the heresy of Christianity. But then Jesus shows up. What changed when he met Jesus on the road to Damascus? The focus of his life, the focus of himself, and his identity changed all of a sudden. Look how he describes what he once was in Philippians chapter 3. I once thought these things were valuable, but now I consider them worthless because of what Christ has done. We will never fully understand who we are until we spend quality time with him. The key is to personalize the scripture because it's about having a shared experience with Jesus that then affects the very core of our being.